What's up, y'all? So today we are talking about legendary Prince, Mr. Purple Rain. What was his real cause of death? I always wonder with that. I'm always puzzled by that because y'all know it's always a story that they died for one thing up front, and then in the background it was something else. Now, if you're a conspiracist like me, then I believe it has something to do with his music and him moving his music and everything over to Tidal Wave and that type of stuff. If y'all follow me, y'all know what I'm saying here. Just like, how they say Michael Jackson was killed because he was about to own Sony Records and Whitney was about to get an audit. Now, let me say this. People do die of natural causes. That does happen, I'm sure. But it's just strange, these big people that's got all of this money and stuff like that, something mysteriously happens to them. I don't know. But this is crazy because I was on here looking and searching for one thing, and I ran across this. I wasn't even looking for it. So I wanted to share this with y'all because I ain't never heard this before. But Prince was diagnosed with AIDS 6 months before he died and refused treatment because he believed God would heal him. Have y'all heard this story before? Prince, these are the little notes. Prince contracted HIV in mid 90s, but condition developed into AIDS 6 months ago, anonymous sources have claimed. Who is the anonymous source talking from the background, talking from the shadows? Artist did not get treatment because he thought God would heal him. Pop superstar had been preparing to die for some time, it is said. By the time he died, Prince weighed just 80 pounds, sources have claimed. But he was always little, but he did look a little thin and brittle. I did see him on somebody's talk show. Purple Rain singer also rumored to be addicted to painkillers, Percocet. And I did see, I don't know if that was Vanity.
It's 15 hours.
Thank you. Vanity or Apollonia talking about that hip problem he had from jumping off stages in them heels and doing splits and stuff like that. So I'm pretty sure he was addicted to something or was taking something for pain. Police sources claim Prince had prescription painkillers on him when he died. Prince was suffering from AIDS before found dead last week and refused treatment because he believed he could be cured by prayer, it has been claimed. Now, I do know Jehovah's Witnesses, they don't like to take anything or like transfusions or kidneys and stuff. They don't like to mess with that. The Purple Rain singer, who was a Jehovah's Witness, was diagnosed with the crippling condition just 6 months before he passed away, sources told National Enquirer. The 57-year-old weighed just 80 pounds by the time of his death and had been preparing to die for a little while. The supermarket tabloid says sources told it. A source who was not identified by the Enquirer said doctors told Prince his blood count was unusually low and that his body temperature had dropped dangerously below the normal 98.6 degrees to 94. He was totally iron deficient, very weak, and often disoriented. He rarely ate, and when he did, it all came right back up. His face was yellowish, the skin on his neck was hanging off, and the tips of his fingers were brownish yellow. This comes as sources close to the investigation into the singer's death claimed that he had prescription painkillers in his possession when he died. CNN reported that the pain-killing substance was found on Prince, while the Star Tribune in Minneapolis reported that the prescription pills were found in his were the musicians. Let me get myself together. CNN reported that the pain-killing substance was found on Prince, while the Star Tribune in Minneapolis reported that prescription pills were found where the musician died at the age of 57 last week at his home in suburban Minneapolis. Both reports were based on unidentified law enforcement sources. According to the National Enquirer, Prince was diagnosed with HIV back in 1990s, but that developed into AIDS towards the end of last year. The Enquirer goes on to claim that the singer became addicted to opiate medication Percocet that he was using to dull the pain he was suffering in the last months of his life. A statement by those close to Prince following his death said he died of influenza, an infection that would likely have proved fatal if his immune system had been decimated by AIDS. Days before he was found dead in a lift at his Paisley Park mansion in Chatham, Minneapolis, he had been seen making runs to the local pharmacy to pick up bags of prescriptions. An employee at the Walgreens that served him said, "We are all just shocked that he came in last night looking so beat. We said, we are praying for you." He said almost under his breath, "Maybe if you prayed for me a year ago, it would be different right now." Then he waved and said thanks anyway. Rumors have surrounded the cause of Prince's death, who was known as much for his sexually androgynous stage persona and wild sex life as his music. It has been rumored that Prince died from an overdose of Percocet and had nearly passed away on board in his private plane while touring 6 days before he was found unresponsive at home. The jet was required to make an unscheduled landing despite being just 45 minutes from the artist's home. Through his representatives again said he was suffering from flu. However, sources told TMZ that Prince actually had to be rushed to the hospital for a safe shot typically used on patients who have taken an overdose of opiate medication. While the autopsy report into Prince's death may not be released for several weeks, officers already said there was no indication of suicide. Lawyer L. Londell McMillan, who knew Prince for 25 years and at one time was his manager, has denied the singer had an addiction. McMillan said Prince's death had come as a shock to all who knew him because he lived a clean and healthy lifestyle. Meanwhile, the singer's estate is still in limbo after it was revealed he refused to sign a will. The exact value of the estate is unknown, and it has been suggested that Prince was running out of money because he refused to sell his license to his music, forcing him to begin touring again. On Wednesday, a Minneapolis judge granted Sister Tyka Nelson request to have a corporate trust company temporarily oversee proceedings. Judge Kevin Ed appointed Bremer Trust as special administrator, giving the company authority to manage and supervise Prince assets and identify hers. Ed said Prince had no appointed personal representative but had substantial assets and owned businesses that require immediate attention and ongoing management. The judge also noted that identifies and addresses of Prince hers need to be determined. Prince's one full sibling, Takina Nelson, requested the move Tuesday, telling the court she believed her brother didn't have a will. Prince has 5 surviving half-siblings who could share the estate. Legal observers have said the process of dividing up his assets could drag on for years. So do y'all believe he died of AIDS? And then I want to see where did the plane land for treatment. Let me see if I can find anything. What hospital did Prince go to while landing? Trinity Moline Hospital. Cause somebody said that they stopped here, but I didn't know if that was, I didn't hear that. But it's Moline, Illinois, ain't it? Moline, Illinois, is that where the hospital Prince went to? At Trinity Medical Center. Where is Trinity Medical Center located? Rock Island, Illinois. So he was a few hours outside of here. How far is Rock Island, Illinois from Decatur? 2 hours and 49 minutes. So he was close to here. Okay. Oh well. Do y'all believe that? I'm gonna run a poll. Y'all let me know if y'all believe he died of AIDS, or if y'all believe he died about that stuff with his music and his royalties. Cause you know he fought a long time. Remember when he had that slave across his face when he was going through that emancipation and all of that stuff? I don't know. I shouldn't even read this. I got stressed out. I'm gonna run a poll. Y'all tell me what y'all think. Mwah.